And we're live. Are we live? Yes.
We are, yes.
Yes, we're live. Thank you, Cam. Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Jill Simonian here with PragerU Kids. Today is Tuesday, April 25th. Hello, parents. Hello, teachers. Hello, school board members and administrators. If you happen to be watching this, I am here this week with a very, very, very big question for all of the parents and teachers trying to protect the validity, shall we say, of our children's education these days. I want to know, have you been canceled? Answer the question for real in the comments. Have you been canceled, parents or teachers, or anyone else for that matter, for speaking up, protecting truth and reasonability in our children's education system? I want to know where you're from, if you've been canceled at your school, or if your child has maybe experienced some kind of passive-aggressive retaliation because you maybe expressed concerns at your child's school or with their teacher or principal. Let me know. As you know, I am one of the creators and personalities of PragerUKids.com, free, educational, wholesome, pro-American content for all of you to access for free on our website and subscribe so that we can begin to educate our children with our American values such as hard work, perseverance, equality under God, pride in being an American, regardless of where we come from, regardless of race or religion. So that's what we're trying to do at PragerU Kids. And frankly, we have experienced a lot of retaliation here, of course, as many have you. It's a very, very real fear when it comes to speaking at a school board meeting. There is a very real hesitant nature that many, many parents have, saying, oh, I don't know how to speak at a school board meeting. I don't know what to say. I don't want people to judge me. I don't want my child to be attacked in the classroom the next day. All of those things are very valid, and the fear of cancellation in our communities is extremely valid. But I am here to tell you from personal experience. This is sort of a pep talk, if you will, today, Cam. Cam, our techie here, is kind of looking at me like, where are you going with this, Jill? This is a pep talk. I am here to tell you, as a parent of 2 elementary school-aged children, yes, you may be canceled. Yes, you may be retaliated against. But yes, you will survive. And I want to share with you a brief story about what happened to me personally in real life as a mom, as a parent, outside of any of this PragerU work that I do here. I want to tell you what happened with me last week. We're doing something a little different here today. For those of you who listen, we usually do a hot topic headline, and I walk you through the ins and outs of something newsworthy that's happening in education. Today's a pep talk, so that's where we're going. I'm going to share with you right now a video that I actually put on my own Instagram last week, sort of describing what went down at one of our local school board meetings that I was moved to show up to support parents who were demanding, begging, and pleading for transparency and accountability on account of one of the district's assistant superintendents allegedly hiding student records in her office so that she could change the gender of any said student in her office without having to necessarily inform parents or and I thought that was wrong. So I want to share with you what I said at a school board meeting, and then I'm going to tell you a little story about it. So let's go ahead and listen to this. Are we ready, Cam?
We are ready.
We are. Okay, so here we go. As you can see, if you're looking at the screen now, you can see that I wrote here, the big issue in Glendale Unified School District lately, teachers and administrators creating school policy centered on their personal beliefs on taxpayers' dimes without transparency or parental consent. while the school board protects them. Here's what happened. Let's just take a listen and then I'll get into it a little bit more. And I want you to share your stories with me as well.
Who are begging for truth and reason and virtue inside of our classrooms. Seeing what's happening here in GUSD is tragic, and this is not about anything or anyone hating the LGBTQ community. Nobody hates the LGBTQ community. I certainly don't. The root of this issue is the failure of this school board right here, this school board failing to educate children in knowledge, and the failure of this school board to act as an elected watchdog over the teachers, educators, administrators who might be compromised in instead delivering personal ideologies when they should in fact be teaching children reading and math to raise to grade level. That's the root issue.
The school board are elected officials. They're not there to be buddy-buddy best friends with the superintendent and teachers and administrators. No, they're supposed to do the hiring and firing and hold teachers accountable. Remember the end game, parents. Our job is to make sure that our school board, elected school board, holds teachers accountable and offers transparency about what's happening in our district. Parents' rights are no joke. We have the right to direct the education and upbringing of our children, guaranteed in the Constitution. Be brave.
Okay, so there I said be brave, which is our favorite catchphrase here, but we mean it, truthfully. Be brave, be brave. It's not easy to speak up. It's not easy to stand for truth and reason when you are in front of hundreds of people in person and also online for people to judge you. But going back to that school board meeting that happened 1 week ago tonight, I was there in support. The top of that video got cut off a little bit, but I was there in support of parents who were asking for transparency when it came to what certain teachers in the Glendale Unified School District were allegedly doing, hiding certain records from parents, giving lessons about gender ideology inside of classrooms, for children as young as 8 years old without parental informed consent. These are all things that Glendale, California parents have been asking the board for, and being met with blank stares from the school board. So I went to support them last week, and I basically, frankly, respectfully, I think, but very frankly, just called them out and said, listen, this school board is an elected body to serve as a watchdog to hold any teachers who might be compromised or doing something that is outside of the boundaries of what they should be doing, educating children in knowledge. This board is supposed to hold those teachers accountable. This board is not supposed to be buddy-buddy and protect all the teachers at all costs for any and all purposes that go against parental rights. So I made that speech identifying myself by name, not hiding anything. And something interesting happened yesterday. The most interesting part of this story is prior to me going to this school board meeting to support parents, I had been asked to serve as the mistress of ceremonies for a Glendale Unified School District event. Okay. So I am very, very active in the Glendale community in Southern California. People have known my name and who I am for a very, very long time, decades, basically. And I, in past years, was frequently called to serve as a mistress of ceremonies for this particular event for an organization called the Glendale Educational Foundation that is a nonprofit that supports the Glendale Unified School District in donating money. So I was called again this year to MC the event months ago. They said, please, will you come MC our event again? I was a little, pleasantly surprised because I thought, wow, I wonder if they realize that I am, trying to hold public school districts accountable these days with my work here at PragerU. Nothing's a secret. But I accepted. I was very excited. I said, you know what? This is good. This proves that there is opportunity for both sides, so to speak, to come together in an effort to make our public schools better. I used to be a longtime proponent of public schools until I discovered the underbelly of what was happening. So I accepted to MC this event. I had been in communication regularly saying, can you be here on the date of the walkthrough for the venue? Yes, I can be there. Absolutely. Thank you. All the communication was lovely. And I was very happy to show up to this event, which will be happening in the next few weeks, as a professional to serve as mistress of ceremonies for this school district, right? So lo and behold, just as I guess I shouldn't be surprised. I shouldn't say I suspected this, but I guess I was maybe optimistic and I had high hopes that we were all moving forward in a new direction of allowing a diversity of thought and opinion to exist in a public forum at a school board meeting as it should. But I'm wrong, because yesterday I received an email in the morning confirming that I would be able to attend the venue walkthrough to MC this forthcoming event. And then that evening, last night, I received an email saying, oops, from the committee, there's been a miscommunication and we don't need a mistress of ceremonies after all. Thank you so much. Sorry about the miscommunication. And I thought, I was just canceled. There was no miscommunication. And it's just, it's really disheartening to realize that in the setting of a school board meeting where people are supposed to show up with differences of opinion in a public forum to hold elected officials accountable for regulating the proper education for our children, that really isn't the case anymore, because I was dismissed from my volunteer duties to serve as the mistress of ceremonies. They cited miscommunication, but we all know that there really was no miscommunication. Let's be honest here. So I want to know if you were canceled. And this isn't the first time I've been canceled. And I was canceled at my kids' former school district for asking questions about certain lessons that my daughters were completing as 3rd and 4th graders. I was canceled by many people in my own community for showing up at school board meetings and really trying to bring hidden truths to light in the interest of transparency in our taxpayer-funded education system. So I want to know if you've been canceled. Let me know. Cam, do we have any comments about parents who may have been canceled, or if their kid was maybe retaliated against in any way? I'm just, this is a pep talk session. I want to talk through this. If you can scroll through, let me know if you see anything. And if you don't, that's okay.
It doesn't look like we have any specific stories, but we do have a lot of people saying yes, as in they have been canceled or that they've dealt with issues like this in public schools. There's also a lot of people saying that they homeschool their children and recommending that other people homeschool their children as well.
Right. So one thing that we constantly say at PragerU Kids from the bottom of our hearts is thank you to all of you who have really, put your nose to the grindstone and taken your children out of the public education system and really taken ownership of educating your children. We appreciate that. We hold it in the highest regard. It is not easy to do so. Every parent is capable of educating our children. We have more tools than we've been fooled to believe that we don't have. But we appreciate you and we thank you, and we really do endorse those who are able to pull their children out of school. That said, we also realize that not every single parent has the ability and means and wherewithal and opportunity to make that drastic change for their child's education. And we do realize that many parents keep children in public schools for a variety of reasons. And we also understand and appreciate that. And that's one of the main reasons why we created PragerU Kids, so that you could have free resources, magazines, videos, shows to share with your children to supplement their education, so that you can nourish their brains with knowledge based in truth and our American history, so that when they see the garbage ideologies thrown at them at school, they have been, we like to say, inoculated with knowledge from you, the parent, and us here at PragerU Kids, so that the kid can say, you know what, that doesn't align with my values. That isn't what my family believes, and I know this is garbage being sent to me in this classroom, and I will be respectful and listen, but I know that it is not right, and I know that it is not true. And that's why we created PragerU Kids also for the parents who keep their children in public schools. So the point of me asking if you've been canceled is so that I can say this: you will survive. If you are canceled at your child's school for speaking up, for asking questions, you will survive, and so will your child. Will educators try and retaliate against your kids? Maybe, but you will survive, and so will your child. Before I pulled my daughters out of our former public school, I was literally called into the principal's office because of some views that I expressed on my social media account, outward facing, publicly. I wasn't hiding anything, regarding public education as a whole. I said nothing about the school. I said nothing about the school district at the time. Yet the principal saw my social media because I was a very involved parent. I was on the PTA. I was a constant volunteer. I was a public personality on television at that time. And she called me into the principal's office literally and said, "We need to talk about your social media." And I looked at her and I said, "It sounds like you're trying to censor me. I don't think you would do that, but it sounds like you are, and that's what it feels like." And she looked at me, and we had a very heated discussion with another teacher who was there. And at the end of the very, very tense meeting, the principal looked at me, trying to retaliate against me, and said, "Why don't we move your daughter out of Mrs. So-and-so's class?" And 5 minutes prior to that, Mrs. So-and-so had looked at me and said, "Oh, your daughter is just amazing. I love having her in my class. She's just a hard worker. She's a great student. She's a joy." So this teacher is telling me this, and then the principal, tells me that she thinks it's a good idea if we move my daughter out of so-and-so's class because of my opinions. And I looked at them straight in the face and I said, "No, that will not be happening." I said, "You will not retaliate against my daughter. You will not pluck her out of the classroom that she has been in for several months to drop her into another class that is mentally abusive for a then 10-year-old. No, you will not be doing that." And they sat there staring at me in disbelief. I said, "My daughter will remain in your classroom, and I will deal with the compromised curriculum that comes our way, and I will teach her what's right from wrong, and she will continue to be a respectful student in your classroom." And that was the end of it. So yes, you will be retaliated against. Yes, they might try to retaliate against your children. But if you are speaking in truth and reason and virtue, respectfully, what can they do to you? Nothing. That's the pep talk. Nothing. What can they do to you? Nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. You will survive. Some other ways that we like to encourage parents to get involved here at PragerU Kids. We always like to say, speak up, speak up, speak up. Go to the school board meetings. Aim to speak to the school board and or your superintendents and administrators and teachers through a public forum. Through a public forum, so that it is on public record, so that it is publicly available and accessible. Through a public forum. That is the only way to continue to try and hold educators who are compromised accountable. Because if you are dissatisfied and you send a single email to an administrator asking if we can talk about such and such issue, and they say, "Yes, let's meet at the district office, just us three," it is behind closed doors. No one will know about it. They will listen to you. They will nod your heads. They will say, "We hear you. We hear you. We understand. We understand. Thank you for being a partner with our schools." And then you're not going to get any results whatsoever. Is it easier to meet behind closed doors? Yeah. But it doesn't hold them publicly accountable. Our schools are on taxpayer dollars. Don't forget that. Public forums. Go to the school board meetings. Speak up. Volunteer in the school library. You want to find out what's going on? You want to find out if those horrible books that you see in your social media feed are really in your school library? Volunteer. Volunteer in the school library. Most every school allows volunteers. Sign up. Go for an hour. Pick books off the shelves. Open them up. see what's there. And if you don't like something, speak up in a public forum. Bring it to light. Another thing, opt out of sex ed DEI activities. Opt out, opt out, opt out. We have the power as parents to opt our children out of things that go against our values. There are opt-out forms. It is legal to opt your child out of most everything. Some school districts are getting a little tricky and trying to prevent parents from opting out. I know we just tackled a headline a few weeks ago about Maryland, Montgomery schools in Maryland trying to prevent parents from opting out. But opt out if you can. We have the forms to help you. And I believe the link to our parent action guide, which I will bring up right now, the link to our parent action guide on our website for free is in the title of this Facebook Live or YouTube Live if you're watching from YouTube. The link is there for you to click on. Our parent action guide will get you started and give you direction for how to opt out of certain things happening in your school district that may go against your values. Another thing you can do that our parent action guide really outlines very nicely, I might say, is to file a FOIA request, Freedom of Information Act request. We have legal access as parents to find out about what is happening in our schools, what emails are being sent, what outside consultants are being hired, what curriculum is being included and taught, what activities are being invited to the schools that we might not always be aware of as busy parents. File a Freedom of Information Act request. It is free. It is legal. It is there for us to discover what is going on. I know dozens and dozens of parents who have filed Freedom of Information Act requests for what is happening inside of their kids' school districts, and they receive hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages of emails, correspondence, communication between superintendents, school board members, teachers, administrators, parents. You can get that information. It's public information. File the FOIA request. Our parent action guide, free on PragerU.com, gives you guidance on how to do it. Are these things easy and fun, and do we want to spend our time doing them? No, but it's our responsibility. That's another part of the pep talk. It's our responsibility, because here's the deal. If we do not continue to push back, and if we do not continue to speak up, imagine where we will be in 5 years from now. 5 years ago, could any of us have believed that any of what we see now would have been happening in our schools? No. Several months ago, I went to an event, a community event, and it was at a friend's home, and someone came up to me and graciously said, "Thank you for what you do. Thank you for speaking up. Thank you, we're behind you. Keep speaking up. And you're so brave." That was the thing she said. She said, "You're so brave. I wish I could be like you." And I looked at this fellow mom that I know, and she didn't expect this, but I just very directly said, "You can be brave too." And I smiled. I said, "I can't be the only one being brave. And the few who speak up cannot continue to be the only people who be brave. You need to be brave, because if more people like you were brave, we would not be in this tragic situation across the country in virtually every single school district that we are now. You need to be brave. Start telling your friends that. Friends, tell each other the truth. Friends who fight say, 'Help me,' when I need to fight for the good of our community and our children and our future. Tell your friends that they need to be brave too, because we can't be the only ones doing it." So that said, I'm going to jump now to something happy. Well, not so happy. For those of you who know, Otto, actually, before I get to this, Cam, are there any final comments from the parents regarding speaking up or being brave or being canceled?
It seems like a lot of people are just agreeing with you. I also told people in the chat to let us know if they've signed up for the Parent Action Guide, and then I'll let you know as the comments come in.
Very cool, very cool. I just want to check with you. Thank you, Cam. I tend to catch him off guard sometimes. You're a good sport. He's a great sport. So that said, we thank all of you parents who are continuing to support us and to fight alongside of us. I know that we all fight in different ways. I didn't mean to get bossy back there, but it is. We are in a very, very tragic situation with our children, with our schools. I say that as someone who had a very, very long time affection for our public schools. My grandmother, mom, and teacher, all public school teachers, aligned with our values that we're really trying to extend from here at PragerU Kids, onto our children. But we are in a tragic situation, and we know that those of you who fight with us, we see you, we appreciate you, we thank you for all of your donations, because we can't create any of this PragerU Kids content without you. And with that said, I want to move now to our latest episode of Otto's Tales, that takes us to an American farm. But before I say that, before I show you a little bit of the animation on this particular Otto's Tales, I do want to say that we are very, very sad to hear about the real Otto the Bulldog, Dennis Prager's longtime buddy and companion on his fireside chats. If you haven't heard already, Otto the Bulldog has passed away. He was a very old dog. Rest in peace, dear Otto. Yesterday we all heard the news and we were all very sad because Otto is our mascot. He's the heart of the PragerU Kids operation, and the real Otto. I did, when I used to visit Dennis every so often on his fireside chat to talk about PragerU Kids, the real Otto would lumber in, and he was, anyone who has a dog knows how hard it is to lose a beloved pet. But Otto the Bulldog was not only a beloved pet. He was, in my mind, the only real life dog that I can think of in recent history who helped America think and live better. Think about that. I mean, of course, Dennis Prager is the voice of wisdom on the fireside chats, but the hook, the gimmick, the human quality of much of what Dennis said, there was always Otto the Bulldog beside him, and Otto the Bulldog was the mascot, and he was the heart, and he was the trusty friend that helped us listen to all of Dennis's wisdom. And Dennis's wisdom is always enriching to listen to, but when you have the Bulldog, it adds a little special something, and we're gonna miss Otto. And with that, I will pay homage to Otto with our latest PragerU Kids episode of Otto's Tales, when Otto the Bulldog and his little friend Smidge visit an American farm. And I'll let you take a listen and a look. This is our show for our youngest learners, kindergarten through second grades. I just want to share with you some of the beautiful animation that we have. Here we go.
Otto shrugged, but I think we should find out. Get your overalls, Smidge. We're going to a farm. Otto navigated a hot air balloon through the evening sky. Smidge dug her claws into the basket of the balloon. Are you sure you can fly this? It's not difficult, Otto assured her. And lucky for us, there are no tornadoes in the forecast. Still, can you go closer to the ground? The kitten ducked down to hide. Otto grinned as the breeze hit his face. You're missing the view. Look at all that farmland below. It looks like a funny quilt. Smidge peeked over the edge as Otto steered them lower. Watch out for those metal trees, she squealed as the balloon narrowly passed one by. I'm not sure those are real trees, Otto said with uncertainty.
There we go. Okay, so that's just a little snip of Otto's Tales. Let's visit an American farm. Our book is out now for you to order. If you go to PragerUKids.com, you can find out more about it. This episode is obviously, as you might have guessed, honoring our American farmers and teaching our youngest learners how hard farmers work and how farmers are an invaluable part of our country and how much we appreciate them. So check it out on PragerUKids.com. That's it for today. I hope any parents who are getting canceled in schools know that you are resilient and know that you will survive. And rest in peace, dear Otto the Bulldog. Sending love to Dennis for Otto. And with that, we will see you next time. God bless. Subscribe for free at PragerUKids.com. Bye, everybody.